Hello YouTube, the random outdoorsman is back, and today I will show you how to make a hobo stove. Today I am just using an old coffee can, I think maybe cookie can, with a lid, and an old junky knife. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to kind of want to look your can over, see the size of it. This one's about 5-inch diameter by 6 inches tall. And what we're going to do with this is cut a window here to put tinder in, and then make this lid be the grate. So there will be nothing extra you need except for this can. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So take your knife and, jab it there into the tin. And you definitely want a tin can that's a little bit tougher. If it's a weak tin can, it might get melted and deformed by the fire, depending on how hot you get it. But if you throw a aluminum pop can into a fire, a lot of times it will melt and get consumed. So you definitely don't want something as thin as a pop can if you plan to use it more than once. So you see how this cuts here. It's pretty satisfying. You can use tin snips if you want to, but I'm just showing how to do it with the minimal amount of things necessary. And this video will be all one take because this is my only can I have right now that can be used, that can be expended to be sliced open and have a fire built in it. So you see, almost have this door cut, and it really doesn't take that much. It just takes a couple minutes of free time and an old knife you don't care much about. So once you have that, you're going to want to pop that out with the knife so you don't get cut in your fingers, and kind of bend it back. So here we go, bending it back, and there is the door. The good thing about how this door is that it will kind of hold up your tinder and wood so it's not falling out. You're going to need to put some holes in it because air has to get inside. So just stab a couple holes into this metal. They can that doesn't really need to be perfect. It just has to have some holes, because if you've watched my tutorial video on charcloth, if there's not enough oxygen getting into where the fire is, you won't have fire. It will just kind of smoke. So you'll stick your burning stuff into here and it will not burn because it can't get enough oxygen. And also, this is not only a hobo stove, you can also use it as kind of a micro burn barrel if you want to, which is why I didn't completely cut the door off, because it allows it to be used, like I said, as a micro burn barrel by just closing the door. Which is kind of nice, because if you live somewhere where you might not have a fire pit and you just kind of want to make a small fire for whatever reason, and you don't want to have ashes scattered all over the place, just make one of these. So once you get these notches cut, you can bend in to let the maximum amount of air in. See all those holes I have cut, and then cut a couple more up here by the top. So here we go. If you're using a folding knife like I am right now, I don't think I had any junk fixed blade knives. Make sure to hold on the blade itself, because if you hold by the handle, it could break the locking mechanism and stab you or cut your finger off, because depending on how much pressure you're putting on this, it might just close very forcefully on your finger, which would be unpleasant. Just trying to have some fun, and then you lose a finger. So you see, almost done here. There's the lid, and probably help to leave the lid on while you're stabbing these holes in. Give it some stability. A couple more right here by the door. The can is made to be strong when it's completely intact. Once you disrupt that structural integrity, it tends to become more weak than you imagined a can like this being. So be careful the holes you put in this section right here, because they could cause it to collapse if you were to push too hard, and then you mess up the nice little can you have. So you see, you got a lot of holes there. If you're OCD about it, you can put even more holes, but air can get in at this point. So there's plenty of air for this container. Plenty of holes. And there we go. Okay, now, for the lid. Basically, this is going to be the grate. So you're going to want to just take your knife and stab into it. And I'm just going to cut some straight lines across this lid. Obviously, this will allow heat to go up to whatever surface, whatever you're trying to heat up, easier. Heat can still conduct through metal, but why not give it a little bit more of an open passage? Make sure not to put too many slices in this, because if you put too many, it'll make it too thin, and you might not be able to sit your container on it if the container is heavier. So, almost done here. Just need to get a couple more slices. And there you go. So from here you can bend down some of these tabs here. You lift up other ones, so that'll let even more heat to come up. So you see how I'm bending some of these up. That'll hold up your container, whatever it may be. So you see that there? Alright, so there is an easy hobo stove with one coffee can and a cheap knife. Now, I will show a video of me boiling some water in a cup with this. Before I boil the water with this, I want to mention that there's one good thing about making a hobo stove like this, which is that you can take the lid off to get some of your bigger, like your feather sticks and stuff in there first, and then you can add wood in here afterward. But that definitely makes it way more handy and accessible for putting certain kinds of tinder into there. So here we have the hobo stove, and you see it is working quite well. The water's already starting to steam. It is very cold here today. For this area, it's around 20 degrees, and we have a couple, about 5 or 6 inches of snow you see back there. But it is working very well. You can easily stick wood pieces into it, and yes. After a couple minutes, the water is now almost at a boil. Okay, and the water is now boiling. So a couple little comments real quick. If you do this with a can that has paint on it, you might get some black smoke when you first make a fire in it. That's just it burning the paint off. You probably noticed that when I first came out here to burn this, but at this point that black smoke has subsided and all the paint's gone. So it works very nicely. You see the water is now boiling. And so I'm going to make myself some hot chocolate because of the season. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell us what you thought about this video and what you want to see next. Because I will still post videos most likely, every day, every other day, just depending on what's going on. And so yeah, thanks for watching, and happy trails.